Welcome, everyone. My name is Elena Zoniadis. I am the managing attorney of the Institutional Rights Team for Disability Rights New Jersey, and today we're going to be talking about the pre-admission screening resident review process. So if you'll just bear with me one moment, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So again, this presentation will discuss the pre-admission screening or resident review process, your rights before taking residence in a nursing home. And before we begin, I want to thank the New Jersey Council on Developmental Disabilities for providing some of the funding that allowed us to create this presentation. We will be providing contact information for them and for us at the end of this presentation. Before we continue, I do want to just note that we are using the term nursing home and long-term care facility, but both terms refer to the same kind of facility. Presentation roadmap. This presentation will provide an overview of the pre-admission screening resident review, commonly called the PASRR process, and I'll be using the term PASRR as a shorthand from here on out. The presentation is based on the federal law and New Jersey state law, so if you or a loved one reside in another state, then we would strongly encourage that you research the laws in that state. Disability Rights New Jersey is the New Jersey Protection and Advocacy Agency for the state. So what is PASRR? When an individual is determined to be clinically eligible for residence in a long-term care facility or nursing home, federal law requires that the facility engage in a pre-admission screening and resident review, or PASRR. This presentation will focus on the PASRR process for individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities and related conditions. Additional laws exist for individuals with mental illness that we are not going to be covering today. What is the purpose of PASRR? The PASRR laws seek to ensure that individuals with disabilities are not inappropriately placed in long-term care facilities if they need specialized services, which we are going to discuss further later in the presentation. So in other words, PASRR is meant to prevent the improper institutionalization of individuals who need different kinds of services than those that would otherwise be provided in a long-term care facility or a nursing home. What agencies administer PASRR? All Medicaid certified nursing facilities must conduct a PASRR screening on individuals regardless of their funding source. While PASRR is a federal requirement, states implement PASRR at long-term care facilities. In other words, you don't need to go to some location that is run by the federal government. For example, with Social Security Administration, you might go to a Social Security Administration building. In this case, this is a process that the local facilities must implement. So in New Jersey, the Division of Aging Services, DAS, oversees PASRR, and the Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services, what we call DMOS, and the Division of Developmental Disabilities administer the Level II evaluations, which we're going to discuss in a moment. So again, this presentation is focusing on developmental disabilities, but just to be comprehensive, in the event of mental health screening, it would be handled by the Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services in New Jersey. So first, I want to start by giving a very broad overview of what the PASRR process is, and then we will go into more detail later in the presentation. So PASRR is a two-step process: Level 1 screening, Level 2 evaluation. So during this Level 1 screening, individuals are screened for a disability. During the Level 2 evaluation, the individual has a more detailed evaluation to see if they require specialized services that make nursing home placement inappropriate. Specialized services. So what are specialized services? They are services that go beyond those usually provided by nursing facilities, and they address specific needs that are related to a person's disability. The state, again, is responsible for providing or arranging the specialized services identified by the evaluation. We will now explore the PASRR process in more detail. When does the PASRR take place? The PASRR process takes place after a person is determined to be clinically eligible for residence in a long-term care facility / nursing home. But it takes place before that person actually takes the residence. So after it's determined that the person needs long-term care placement, but before they're actually taking up residence in that kind of a facility. When does the PASRR not take place at all? So sometimes you might be admitted or take residence in a long-term care facility and not go through the PASRR process. There's only a few exceptions to PASRR. By and large, most people have to have this kind of review. But here are some circumstances. So when a person is readmitted to a long-term care facility, for example, after receiving medical treatment, or when a person moves from one long-term care facility to another. Who conducts the PASRR level screening? Professional staff conduct the screening, such as a licensed certified social worker, a registered nurse, a physician, or a physician's assistant. And then we also have a link here for more information. You can go to www.state.nj.us/human services/DOAS/services/PASRR, or you could just perform a search online and look up PASRR and New Jersey and Human Services, and you should get to the same place. How does the level 1 screening take place? The New Jersey Division of Aging Services has a publicly available form that the medical professional must complete. Again, it's located in the same website in a slightly different place, but it's state.nj.us Human Services. The professional must complete a screening outcome to determine if the individual has a condition that would require level 1 evaluation. So again, level 1 screening, and then 2 is the more robust evaluation. What are the criteria for level 1 disabilities and related conditions? Intellectual disabilities and related conditions are screened together. An intellectual disability is one that begins before the individual is 28 years old, and it must be determined by a, quote, standardized reliable test under the law. A related condition is a severe chronic developmental disability that produces significant functional impairment but is not an intellectual disability. This can include seizure disorder, muscular dystrophy, and autism. Okay, what happens after the level 1 screening? If an individual screens positive for a disability or related condition, they will then have a level 2 evaluation. Positive screens for an intellectual disability or related conditions are referred to, as we discussed just earlier, the New Jersey Division of Developmental Disabilities. What are some of the exceptions to the PASRR process? If an individual passes level 1 screening, they might still be admitted to a long-term care facility if. So this is an exception where you have passed through the level 1 screening, but you're still admitted to the long-term care facility before the level 2 or the step 2, to think of it differently, has taken place. And one of these exemptions is the 30-day exempted hospital discharge, and very specific circumstances. So the person is coming directly from a hospital following inpatient care. The person requires services for the condition they received at the hospital, and the person's doctor certifies that the individual is likely to require 30 days or less of skilled nursing facility care. So this is, I envision to be a short-term, 30-day or less skilled nursing home need, not the permanent placement for this individual. And to continue with some other exceptions, categorical determinations. Similar, it's an idea that the time limited residence at a long-term care facility. So categorical determinations are circumstances that are permitted, time limited, temporary admissions to a nursing facility before the level 2 evaluation. And they might include terminal illness, severe physical illness, respite care, and protective services. Does not permit a permanent admission, but only a temporary admission. There are a few other exemptions for individuals with mental illness, but we are not going to be covering those today, but I did just want to add that as a quick footnote. Okay, so now we have completed level 1 screening. The person is found to have a disability, and now we move to the level 2 evaluation. So after an individual who screens positive at level 1 and is referred to the appropriate agency, so DDD, they have a level 2 evaluation. The purpose of a level 2 evaluation is to determine whether an individual's disability or related condition requires specialized services that would make admission into a nursing facility inappropriate. Who performs the level 2 evaluation? In New Jersey, the level 2 evaluation for individuals with intellectual disabilities and related conditions is performed by DDD. What are specialized services for individuals with disabilities or related conditions? So again, specialized services go beyond the skilled services that a long-term facility can provide, and they include the availability of trained personnel for 24 hours, and this is language from the law, quote, to teach functional skills. Are there notice requirements following a level 2 evaluation? Yes. So regardless of the outcome of a level 2 evaluation, DDD must notify the individual of the results. This notice must also be sent to the individual's legal representative if they have one, as well as their attending physician. So you have the right to know what the outcome was. What is resident review? So again, just to go back to the very beginning, it's pre-admission screening, resident review. So what is that resident review component? In all cases, even if the person did not need specialized services the first time the PASRR took place, a nursing facility may later review the individual's needs. If there is a significant change in the person's condition, the facility may refer the person to the PASRR process again. And this makes sense because your needs might change over time. A few final notes. This is a complicated system that is not easy to navigate, and so we're giving you the best general information we can. If you have concerns about your rights, give us a call. If you are experiencing some kind of problem or you think you're entitled to something you're not getting, give us a call. We may be able to help you, and if we can't, this is information that is necessary for us to have to address these issues on a statewide level. So again, Disability Rights New Jersey is the protection and advocacy agency in the state of New Jersey. We are located in Trenton, New Jersey, and we can be contacted by telephone at 1-800-922-7233, 1-800-922-7233, or at our website, disabilityrightsnj.org. Again, we might be able to provide you direct services, referrals, or some self-advocacy materials that are available also on our website. to assist you with any legal questions you might have regarding the PASRR process. And again, I want to thank the New Jersey Council on Developmental Disabilities for funding some of our work on this presentation. They are also located in Trenton, New Jersey. Their phone number is 1-800-792-8858. Or you can visit their website at njcdd.org. All right, well, thank you everyone. Again, best of luck with any concerns that you might have with the PASRR process, but please do feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help however we can, and potentially give you any additional resources that you might need for your own self-advocacy. I wish you well, and thanks for watching.